Hi, Greg Griffiths here from Ivanhoe Cycles. And this is the 2018 XDS Venture 2, a men's hybrid bike, which is intended for a wide variety of uses. If you wanted to use it as a commuting bike to and from the city for a bit of weekend touring, or just a bike for fun and fitness, where you could ride it on bike paths or on the trails or through parks and that type of thing, that's more than adequate for that. A really nice feature of this particular bike is the fact that it has a Shimano Alivio group set. So Alivio cranks, front derailleur, rear derailleur, chain and cassette, and also the hydraulic disc brakes are Shimano Alivio. So it's, I won't say completely unique, but it's very rare that bikes have a full group set of components these days. So it's 27 speed, and we have 3 cogs at the front, 9 at the rear. And as I mentioned, all Shimano Alivio components. So the gear shifting, because everything is intended to work with each other, the matching of the chain and cassette and gears and the shift levers is all perfect. So it's the regular push button shift, so you change up with your thumb and down with your finger. But this is also with this shifter, it's what's called a two-way shift. So you can change up with your thumb or down with your thumb. So if you're in a situation where you're gripping the bars firmly, or if you're holding the brakes as well, you can still change gears with your thumb. So that two-way shift it's been in mountain biking for quite a while, in some of the upper end group sets, but to have it on a bike like this, it can be advantageous to the rider to be able to use the thumb for both the up and down shift. With the aluminium frame, these XDS frames are smooth welded, so it doesn't have the obvious bulky weld of many frames, so the appearance is quite a bit better than many aluminium frames. And you'll notice the almost square shaped tubing. This shape gives it additional strength, so the frame is quite a bit stronger than a traditional round tube. These frames, because they're intended for that touring, commuting style work, it has rack mounts, so you could fit a pannier rack to the rear. On the larger frames, they have provision for 2 water bottles. So all of those fittings are built into the frame. It's quite a strong setup. It means that you don't have to use clamps or fiddle around trying to fit. So any conventional pannier rack or baby seat for that matter would fit on this frame. So, you know, if you've got a younger child in the family and you need a bike to ride to work, this would be an ideal sort of bike to use. Just pop the child seat carrier on the back, remove the seat when you don't have the child with you, put it back on when you do. Because this bike is designed for that wider range of uses, it has a larger tyre with a tread pattern that's suitable for many different road conditions. So whether it's on a smooth surface like bitumen or normal roads, or if it's on a rail trail with a compressed sand, or a bike path that can be almost anything these days, from concrete washed over with dirt and gravel, sticks and stones, the tyre is sufficiently treaded and big enough to withstand most of the debris that you can find on the road or on a path. Additionally, and as I mentioned earlier, with the Alivio shifters and brakes, there's also Shimano Alivio disc brakes. So they're a hydraulic brake. There's a very low lever pressure required to operate them. And again, because it's all matching, first of all, the appearance is quite a bit better than mismatched bits and pieces, but the complete group set also works superbly well. The suspension forks on this bike are not the most basic, but they're quite simple in operation. They're not adjustable, they're preset, and they just have a lockout which you can turn the suspension off or on depending on the riding conditions. So all in all, a fantastic bike. Probably not that dissimilar to some of the Giant Roams from Giant, which is another type of men's hybrid bike. But from XDS is quite good value for money, and as I mentioned, the full Shimano Alivio group set is quite an added bonus. So if you're in the market for a hybrid, a commuting bike, or you're not sure what you want, so you might want to look at this or a cross city or something like that, feel free to come in, maybe test ride a couple of bikes, one with suspension with wider tyres, one without suspension with narrower tyres, and just see what takes your fancy. But this is a very nice bike. Thanks.